What's up, my dudes? MXGP Pro is not a simulator. I see a lot of you guys out there kind of getting that idea and you're getting that thought in your head, and I'm just telling you right now, that's not what this game is at all, bro. I promise you, it's not going to be a simulator like you know what a simulator is. It's just not even going to be like that. You know what a simulator looks like. Like when you watch gameplay footage of MX bikes or MX simulator, it looks like a simulator, especially if you see people playing it that are beginners at the game. Like, it is obvious, it's apparent, it's like, okay, this guy sucks ass. Like, you can tell when people are beginners at simulators, and I've seen a little bit of gameplay of this MXGP Pro, and it just doesn't even look like that kind of game. It doesn't even look like what a simulator looks like. Do you understand what I'm saying? It just doesn't even have that look to it. Now, obviously, I haven't played the actual game. Obviously, I haven't seen every little bit of gameplay that you could possibly see on the game. Obviously, the game's not out yet. It comes out in like a month, I think. But still, I just think a lot of people don't even actually understand how different a simulator really is. They get that pro kind of thought in their head, and then they all of a sudden want to go to, oh, well, maybe it's a simulator, but they don't understand how much more extreme a simulator really is. They don't get that, and I don't even think the developers are trying to make it like a simulator. They're just trying to make a more realistic arcade motocross game. We need to set this shit straight right now, dude. Like, it is not going to be a simulator. I'm sorry to break some hearts out there that might have thought it was going to be to that level. I honestly, truthfully don't think so. I really, really don't. Just from the simple gameplay that I've seen, like, if every one of those people that they showed playing the game, if it really was like a simulator, those people would have had to have been playing the game for, I'm talking months and months, to be at that skill level that they looked like in the gameplay, for it to have been a truly simulator level of a game. Does that make sense? Like, you just put two and two together, dude. I mean, simulators are like another level. I don't even think you can bring up simulator in the same kind of topic as this MXGP Pro. I just don't even think it's like that. I just think it's a more realistic arcade motocross game, more like how Reflex is. I don't consider Reflex a simulator, even though to some people it would damn near seem like a simulator compared to all these dumbass recent motocross games that you can barely even move in the air. It would really seem like a simulator to some people, but it's really not. That's what I'm trying to say in this video here. Like, Reflex really isn't a simulator. It's just a good arcade motocross game. So I feel like that's all they're really going for. I think it's kind of got some people, it's got their minds kind of going a little bit squirrely here, thinking that, well, it's MXGP Pro. They're getting kind of caught up in the title, and they think it's going to be more than what it really is. I just think it's going to be a bit more of a realistic MXGP game. That's all I think. I don't think it's going to be anywhere near the level of a simulator. So I think some of you dudeskies need to pipe the fuck down a little bit, because I don't think it's really going to be like that. I just don't. So either way, that's kind of my opinion on that. I've been seeing a couple of people kind of getting that thought in their head, or kind of asking the question, is it going to be a simulator? No, dude. It's not going to be no simulator. Promise you. It's just not. It's not going to be on that level. Like, people don't realize a simulator, when you first get into it, you can't even turn in a corner without falling completely over. Thinking back to whenever I first got into MX Simulator, it literally took me like a week to even turn in a corner without falling down. Like, I know for a fact these little random playtest people that got out there playing the game on some of the early gameplay that I've seen, then people haven't sat there and played that game for a week straight, or even, and they look halfway decent. Like, they're actually getting around the track and they look like they're playing a normal MXGP game. You wouldn't be able to do that in a simulator without having to put months and months and months of time into it. So that's basically proof right there that it's not going to be like a simulator level. And like I'm saying, I don't even think the developers are even going for that. I really don't think they're trying to do that. And I did hear that you are still going to be able to play with your, your normal MXGP kind of physics in there. They're going to have all of your original physics options in there. So you're going to be able to play it like your super basic beginner friendly physics, your kind of intermediate style physics, semi-pro physics, I think they call it. All that stuff is going to be the exact same. I just think what it is, because I mean, there is even pro physics. Like, check this out right here. Shit, how do I get to it? Exit. Yeah, let me just show you guys this real quick. So as you can see right here, this is in MXGP 3. Okay, you've got the option of standard physics, you've got semi-pro physics, and then you've got pro physics. So they already have pro physics in MXGP 3. They already technically have that. I just think this MXGP Pro thing, all it's really doing is kind of like beefing up how much more pro these physics are compared to your semi-pro. Basically, like down here on your rider weight, that's pretty much what it is. It's your rider weight. So like you've got semi-automatic rider weight where it's sort of, it like kind of counterbalances. Like if you lean too much one way, it's not going to cause you to crash as bad. But if you put it on like manual, it's like it's really giving you full control. But as you guys know, in MXGP3, even with full control, it's not that much control when you compare it to other motocross games. So I think with this whole MXGP Pro, that manual rider weight is just going to be more than what the MXGP3 is. It's just going to be more of a difference than your semi-automatic rider weight in there. I think that's all it's going to be. Everything else in the game is going to be the same. I don't think it's like it's going to be a simulator and you're going to be able to go in there and adjust every little baby. I mean, I think your adjustments on the bike are going to be fairly similar to this. I honestly don't feel like it's going to be maybe the adjustments on the bike make more of a difference, but I don't think it's going to be like maybe you can go in there and adjust the stability, maybe. That's going to be a far stretch, dude. I'm just telling you that right now. That is going to be a far stretch. But like if you come in here to your suspension, I mean, they already have these options in the game. So what I'm thinking is they're still going to give you this option. It's still going to look like this, but like when you actually adjust this, it's just going to do more. This is kind of the vibe I'm getting. This is kind of the thought I'm getting. All the options are still going to be the same. All this shit right here is still going to be the same. When you go in there and actually pick your physics and you put it to pro, that's all going to look the same. It's just going to be more of a difference than we have had in the past. That's what I think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be like a super next level, like, oh my gosh, that's insane. Like, I just don't feel like they can make a simulator all of a sudden when they've been making arcade games this whole time. That's not even like realistic in the realm of milestone games. That doesn't even make any sense. When you actually sit down and think about it, how Milestone Games is probably some of the most unrealistic games as far as the physics are. That's just the truth. I mean, I love their ground physics, don't get me wrong. I think they're a cool, different kind of feeling. But like what I'm getting at here is when you compare it just to reflex, it is like you feel like you can barely even move in the air. You feel like you barely even come off the ground on most of your Milestone games. So what I'm saying is they've always kind of struggled with the physics side of it, especially the in-air physics. So do you honestly think they're going to be able to just go from that to all of a sudden a motocross simulator in like less than 6 months? Do you really honestly think they're going to be able to do that? No, this is not a simulator, dog. Like, it's just more into the pro physics. They're just trying to really explain to people that that's the road they're trying to go down. if it wasn't like that, they would have just titled it MXGP 4. You know, that really is what this game is. The whole reason they're titling it MXGP Pro is they just want to let the fans know that are getting tired of this, like, super restricted physics system that, hey, that's actually what we're trying to improve on. You know, we're really trying to make that better in the game. And but nowhere have I seen anything saying it's going to be like a simulator. It's just not... I mean, to the people that have been playing like MXGP games, hell, it may feel like a simulator because of how, you know, standard and basic and restricted that those games can feel at times. Shit, it may feel like a simulator to you, but I promise you it's not a simulator. It's not a motocross simulator. A real motocross simulator, I'm telling you, takes months and months and months to even get around a track without crashing. I'm not even talking about getting around it fast. I'm just talking about getting around it, period. You know, even being able to turn in a corner, like, I mean, that takes you months in a simulator. That's like actually grinding that shit out, too. I'm not talking about like just goofing off playing it once a week. I'm talking like you're on there really trying to learn that shit. Like the amount of time you would spend in a normal MXGP game before you got bored at it, you would just be getting to the point in a simulator where you could actually get around a track without crashing. Not even fast, just getting around it without crashing. The amount of time you would put in to be able to do that in a simulator is the same amount of time you would put into like an MXGP game before you got bored of it. Like, think back to the amount of time you put into MXGP 3 before you started kind of getting bored of that. Well, that's the same amount of time you'd have to put into a simulator to even be able to get around the track, period. So that's the real difference here that I think some people aren't even understanding. They're not even really getting it, how different a simulator really is. It's another level. It is a complete another level, and if you've never played a simulator, you wouldn't even understand what I'm saying right now. I mean, trust me, when I was just a console reflex dude only and I went to a simulator, it was like something, it was just unbelievable. I didn't even, and that was coming from Reflex, one of the most realistic arcade motocross games out there. I couldn't imagine if I had only played like an MXGP game and then going to MX Simulator. That shit would have felt like some kind of next level, like literal real life in a video game, like, but way more. I mean, because that's what MX Simulator feels like to me. It feels like real life, but in a video game. And that's coming from fucking Reflex. And that still took me, you know, months and months and months before I could really start getting around the tracks good and stuff like that. I mean, it was a long process. So, like, if you're coming from MXGP 3 or, you know, one of these games to MX Simulator, man, you got a damn task on your hands. You got some hard work to put in because it's another level for sure. But what I'm saying is, though, is I just don't feel like that's even what MXGP Pro is. I don't think it's like, I don't think they're trying to go down the road of a simulator, but I think it's a more realistic physics arcade motocross game. That's all there is to it. And when you say more realistic, when you talk about these milestone games, I don't even think it's like too extreme realistic. I don't think it's even going into the simulator realm at all. I just think it's going to more of a better arcade motocross game. That's how I think about it. A lot of people will see the titled MXGP Pro thing and they think it's like another level of arcade motocross physics, like it's this next big super arcade physics, like it's on another level. I don't think that. I think it's just how all arcade motocross games should be. I think it's finally getting you what a real arcade motocross game is. I think that's what it's, you know, what it's actually going to end up being. Now, it may not even be to that level, right? You know what I'm saying? It may not even be to the movement of Reflex or the skill gap of Reflex. I mean, honestly, I'm kind of doubting it's even going to be to that. That's just my personal opinion on it. So, I mean, the people that are saying, well, is it going to be a simulator? Like, they're kind of thinking that or whatever. Like, you're not even on the right planet here, dog. You're thinking it's more than what it's even potentially going to be. I mean, you're like thinking it's like quadruple that if you're thinking it's going to be a simulator. I mean, there's just, when you look at the past milestone games and kind of what they've been doing, what they're going through, I don't think it's going to be anything like that. You may be able to go in there like change tire pressure. You know, there may be a couple more little options like that to go in there and fuck around with, but I don't think it's going to be like you adjust stability like with a 0 to 100 editing like how it is in MX Simulator. But you know what I'm saying though, like it's just not going to be to that level. I really do not feel like it's going to be like that at all. I think most of your adjustments are all going to be within like actual bike type stuff, like tire pressure, fork, shock, suspension adjustments, all the stuff that's basically already in there. I don't think you're going to have anything like that's actually changing how fast you pull up on the bike and how fast you turn, like stability, like how much it holds it up for you. I think you're just going to be going in there and turning it on pro physics, basically. You're not actually going to be, like, there's not going to be a big learning curve skill gap in the setup portion of it. I don't think it's going to be like that. If you guys know how MX Simulator is, I really don't think it's going to be to that level at all. But it's not to, like, get my words twisted saying it's going to be a shitty game or whatnot. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying it's not going to be a simulator. You know what I'm saying? That's really all there is to it. And I love that they're going down this route. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I think it's kind of dumb to try to turn a arcade motocross game into a simulator. They're two different worlds. Like, are you trying to make a simulator or are you trying to make an arcade game? You know, you wouldn't have the original like option to go in there and have the physics of MXGP3, like the normal semi-pro physics and whatnot, and then have like simulator physics in there as well. That wouldn't make any sense. That wouldn't even be a good game at that point. I don't personally feel like if you want to play a simulator, go play MX Simulator. There's already a perfect simulator out there. That's just all there is to it. But either way, I'm excited to see the game. I think it'll be a cool thing nonetheless. But she'll just be a more realistic arcade motocross game than what you expect in MXGP3. Right? You're just getting a more realistic experience on the bike. And that's all there really is to it. It's not like you're getting a simulator in this game. It's not what it is. So either way, appreciate you guys watching all the videos. Later, dudes.